Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, and ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I'm the founder of the Artist Academy and your host for our yearly Mural Meetups. So what is a Mural Meetup? I'm going to be talking about that, plus all the benefits that have come from hosting a in-person Mural Meetup every year for the past, since 2020 is when we started our first one, which is just a funny year to start in group personal meetings. But we do at least one every single year. And this year we're planning one, a big one. And I want to tell you all about it. So I'm going to take you back to the first Mural Meetup that I had and the why behind why we started it and how it went and all the funny things in between, just to help you get an understanding of the foundations of this and for you to decide if this might be something that you would want to participate in too. So 2020 came around. I had started the Artist Academy a year prior to that. So we were over a year into it. And I had this really big project going on up in Iowa. And I just thought, man, I could use some help on this. And then I had a student say, hey, do you ever host in-person retreats? I was like, no, I just do online. And I think the combination of, hey, I need help with this, and people kind of hinting at it to me, the combination of that was like, maybe I should do something called, I'll call it a Mural Meetup. Yeah, sounds great. Okay, how do we do this? So I posted in our Artist Academy group at the time. I think we had like 60 members at the time. And I was like, hey, would you guys want to come learn in person with me? And so many people raised their hand like, absolutely. I was like, oh, great. Okay, so I posted the details, said, hey, in July, we're going to meet in Merrill, Iowa, middle of nowhere, Iowa. Whoever wants to come can come, and I'll provide the stay. You come and, paint some walls, and I'll basically trade you instruction for you helping me on this job. And we had 8 people come, and which is pretty good numbers. We only had 60 people in the academy and 8 people came. I was like, great. And I got to meet some of the academy members that I had been just chatting with online for the past couple of years, and some artists that it was really, really cool to put a face to a name, like an in-person face, and hug somebody that, you've been mentoring or chatting with for a while, and just have that in-person conversations. And we did the thing. We worked a lot at that time. How I did murals was a hustle. It's not as much anymore, but then I would work 10, sometimes 12-hour days on job sites, especially when I was traveling. And so we were in Iowa, so it was a travel mural, and I had them out there with me, and we were exhausted by the end of the day. It was hot. We took them to get ice cream and powwowed, and the first night we had margaritas to loosen everybody up, and it was good. And it was a lot. We were all very tired, but everybody learned a lot. And so fast forward to the next year, I was like, okay, so that was exhausting. This year I want to do a smaller wall, and we put the call out again. Hey, last year we had 8 people come, who wants to come this year? And we had almost 30 artists raise their hand. And mind you, the Artist Academy had doubled in size because it was over a year later. And I had 30 people raise their hand. And so I wanted to do, okay, you come help on a mural, I'll pay for your stay. And we basically boarded everybody up at my house. And we had just moved into this much bigger house. So we had a lot of room. But even with more room, I think we had 23 people actually staying at the house. And so it was an artist slumber party, and it was a lot. I am a natural introvert, very quiet generally, and to leading that many people, I was exhausted, but it was fun. And there was a lot of stories made and all the thing, a lot of funny moments, and, somebody cried, and, and it was good. And so the next year, which was last year, I was like, okay, that was kind of a lot. I was also pregnant last year. Said, okay, maybe let's do some smaller ones. And so we did one in Cozumel, Mexico. That was fun. And then we did 2 in Missouri. And in Cozumel, I think we had 10 people come. And in Missouri, I capped it at 5 each. So we had 2 groups of 5, which was a good amount for me to, we didn't have to like bring out extra bedding and all the things. It was very easy. And it was good. But I have found, so through doing all of these in the last 3 years, this year, I want to do a big one again. It was a lot of fun. The magic that happens when you have so many people there, it's chaos and it's draining for me, but I think it's more beneficial for the artists. And now I know that with a big group, we need a bigger space. So I have an idea of about how big of a wall we need. I don't have a project set for it, but we're going to set it for June or July of this year. And I'll have a big wall by then. I know it. Call it manifesting or whatever. I know that it's going to work out. I know that a perfect opportunity is going to come about, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a big one here in Missouri, and then tentatively later in the year, we'll have a travel one, but I'm not sure where that will be yet. But I want to invite everybody. I will not put a cap on it and make it very inexpensive because I think that opens it up to a lot more people. It's basically free unless you need lodging or if you want one-on-one painting instruction with me. There's some extras that you can pay for, but if anybody wants to just show up and be a part of the community and, meet people and just help a little bit on the mural, like you're more than welcome to come. But the only thing is you have to be inside of the Artist Academy because that's where I promote it. That's where we have all our discussions. That's where we have videos that I ask for you to watch beforehand. Like that's where it's all organized. So if you're a random artist and you're not in the Academy, you cannot come. But if you're in the Academy, and I say that because there are some things I want people to know before they come. And also it's a really great community building activity tool to be in the Academy and kind of see other people posting and, commenting on your stuff and kind of network a little bit before you come. That way, when you come, you're like, oh, you're Lissa. I follow you and we're in the Academy together and I see your stuff pretty often. You get familiar with people and it makes it a little bit more comfortable when you're driving cross country to come to one of these things to be like, oh, I kind of recognize a face from a Facebook post at least, or, you've chatted with someone online. So you at least have kind of one person that you kind of know. Some people have showed up, they've joined the Academy a month ago and they're like, okay, I'm here because you talked me into it. I'm like, great, here's 20 other artists I think you should meet. And so that's my only stipulation is you have to be inside of the Academy. And if you want to pay for extras, you can. But I really think there's a lot of power in getting muralists together or artists in general who want to learn about murals and having them network and get to know each other. And it's just magic happens. And so I made a post inside of the Artist Academy Advanced and I said, hey, anybody who's come to one of these meetups in the past while, can you share with me some of your experiences? What did you get out of it? And so we have Allison. So she came to the Mural Meetup in Missouri 2 years ago, I guess now. Oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 years ago. A year and a half ago, whatever. And the big one. And we nicknamed her Shark because we would play games and she'd be like, no, guys, I'm not very good. And then she would just like dominate. And we're like, you're a shark. And that it stuck. And so now we all comment like little shark emojis on her Instagram posts sometimes. And like, it's just funny things like that. And so she came and she says that finding out how similar me and other artists who I thought were way out of my league and way more successful were. She says we all have the same worries / struggles / failures and lots of funny, relatable stories from people who get it, who have been there. So yeah, she basically came and thinking that, some of the people that she'd followed on Instagram that had a bigger following or, had more experience, but come to find out like, no, we're all in the same boat. And even I at that meetup, I joke because everything went wrong. Like I went to go use the spray gun and do a demo and it just wouldn't work. Or if somebody got stung by a wasp and like, we would forget the ladder, like everything went wrong. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. We're just going with it. And I think other people saw that and they appreciated that. It was like, oh yeah, I forget to bring water out or to clean my brushes too, or, like I get the wrong paint or I spill paint but it's fine because that's just what happens. Shannon says, I think the biggest benefit is the confidence, realizing that painting big is the same process as painting small, that all of us have strengths and weaknesses, that an expert is someone who has put in more work and failed more times, that we all go through the same things. And the laughter. So much fun. So many amazing people with big dreams and creativity. And I'm going to echo her point on the laughter. We were all playing Flip Cup in my dining room at one point. I don't know if it'll be like that this year because I'll have my baby and a couple people are bringing their babies because it's been a couple years now and we have families now, but I'm sure we're all going to be having a couple beers. So hopefully you're cool with that if you come. So Olga says, I'll chime in with Shannon. It was a big confidence booster for me to paint big. The first time I was using lifts was huge. It was real training from which I took away skills and used today, and we all had a good time. So really, Olga and a lot of them, the first time they've ever been on a lift is at a Mural Meetup. And we get them up there. I have my husband, Ryan, who's big into insurance and safety, and he does a big spiel about safety and how to do it properly. And there's inside jokes from that I want to say right now, but you wouldn't get it. So, and then you'll die. And yeah, Ryan would say that anytime, like you'd be like, don't lean over a ladder or you'll die. Or if you do this wrong, you'll die. And everybody was like, okay, we get it. Anyway, so he'll do, the safety demo to where, a lot of people will get up on the big equipment and use it for the first time. That way, whenever you go to do the projects at home and somebody says, hey, have you ever been on a scissor lift before? You can say, yeah. But if you could run me through it real quick, that would be great. Just to get a refresher. And it just gives you a little bit more confidence having already been on it one time and driven it around and used it and painted on equipment. It helps. Plus you get photos and videos to show what you're doing. You're doing art in another state, which is really cool, or a different country. We did one in Mexico, and it's a brand building thing. It's not just a team building with meeting a bunch of artists. It builds your brand. It shows people, hey, I don't just do art in my small town. I'm also traveling to do it. And they don't know, they don't know that you're doing it for free or that you're paying to go to this thing to get instruction. They're just saying, oh, wow, she's painting in another state. That's great. She's really doing it. That's awesome. Maybe I should hire her. Really, that's how it happens. So just share an over amount. I try to take as much photo and video as I can and share it with everybody. Lissa says, finding people with similar kinds of struggles, the humors and the jokes. My favorite part was everyone greeting one another. We'd be helping each other online for so long. So to meet in person was really special. Lissa says the laughter was unparalleled. Yeah, we had a lot of people who just got along really well at some of the meetups. Joanne says, when is the next meetup? And like I said, it's in June or July. And I don't post about them typically. I don't know if I will this year. Probably not. Just because I only post about them in the Artist Academy Advanced. So again, you got to be in there to see it. And that's because they fill up. And I don't really need to post about it on my Instagram or Facebook. I just post about it in the group. They get a first come, first serve, and they've always filled up. So I've never had to go on Instagram and be like, hey, anybody else want to come? No, it's going to fill up, and I'll probably start posting about it in March for our June or July meetup. So whoever signs up first, I don't want to cap it, but I don't know that I could do over 30. That 30 was quite a bit. So let's see. Christy says, learning to paint on a larger scale was a confidence booster. I also learned a ton about using the projector and other equipment. It was a great experience. Madeline says, networking and making lasting connections, hands-on versus video learning, and the confidence building. You see this over and over again, the confidence. The people are saying, when they came, they got in there, they did the work, and then you leave. I don't know that anybody came and was like, that was a waste of time. They were all like, thank you so much. You were really hospitable, or I learned a lot, or thank you. You make a connection. And it's so cool though, because you can definitely tell who's been at a meetup with each other in the group. Because if you've met in person, whenever people go to post in the Artist Academy group, or even on their own social medias, I will see more often than not people who have met at the meetups or Yeah, mostly at the meetups. So the groups that have met each other, they're commenting on each other's stuff. They're liking each other's stuff on social media. They're, encouraging. And you see that start to happen once they really get to know each other. Like once they really meet in person, then you're friends and you want to comment on your other friend's stuff. And so you make art friends and you keep up with them on social media. So it's really cool for me to see, people that I've introduced staying connected through social media. And then some people have even done murals outside of the Mural Meetup and they've got groups together, small groups, and they've done Airbnbs together and they've made best friends. And it's so cool to see the connections that are made and carried out. They start with the Artist Academy and then you get brave enough to come to a meetup and then you have a friend. And there's nothing better than having an art friend. I have a local artist friend, Samantha, and it's just so cool. We're just so similar. And you just really connect with people that are really similar to you. And it's a different level of friendship. Whereas, if your friend's a scientist or something, like it's like the same, but not at all. Like it's just a different level of connection having artist friends. Brianna commented. First, she commented an inside joke, which I'm not going to tell you because you don't get it. But she says, but I learned that I can paint a mural and that just because it's on a different surface, it does not take away from talent. I became more confident using water-based paints since I usually work with oil. It was great to meet other artists because it does tend to get lonely. I learned how to use a projector lift and paint sprayer. If you haven't been to a meetup yet, go. Yeah, see, she's mostly a fine artist, oil painter on canvas. And she came to the Mural Meetup to connect and learn to paint large scale because she does do some murals too. And yeah. So Austin says, basically just echoing what I just said, is being with people just like yourself is so different, feeling that he hopes everybody can feel. Also, making worldly friends opens so many possibilities. So also Austin here, him and this other artist, Danny wrote a whole article, or a whole piece on her experience at the Mural Meetup, and she shared it with me after, and I loved it. So I might get that from her and post it in the Artist Academy Facebook group for people to read. You get to hear it from somebody that's not just me, because I'm like, hey, come to my meetup I'm throwing. It's really, you get out of it what you put into it if you really show up. Like, I want you to hear from other people, which is why I'm reading this. But yeah, some of the benefits of it. And yeah, if you're curious about painting a mural and you would like to learn this summer and you want to make some artist friends and do something a little outside of your box, trust me, it makes me sweat thinking about going and driving and by myself and meeting people. But you do it and it works out. And a lot of people don't bring significant others. Some people do. Most people don't. They just come and you meet friends here and you just go with it. So I'm basically trying to encourage you to sign up for a Mural Meetup. Or if there's some kind of other art thing that you have locally, or some other creator that you see online is hosting an in-person workshop, go to it. If you really like that person or you think you like them online, I mean, we don't really know. There's a lot of people that have met me in person and first off, they're like, you're so little, you're short, you're just different. So everybody's different in person. And I found that too with meeting some Artist Academy students. I was like, I thought you were going to be shy and you are not. That's probably the thing that I realize a lot more. And I think it's the opposite with me. People come and they're like, we thought you would be super loud, and I'm actually pretty quiet. And so you just never know when you meet them in person. But I'm going to have the link for the Artist Academy here. You can apply and join us to learn how to paint murals this summer. We're going to do May Mural Month, and which will be followed by a Mural Meetup. And it's all about murals because murals are what pay my bills. Murals are what I get to do a few times a month and make the big money and then spend the rest of the time with my family. And there's a lot of different avenues to make money as an artist. I've tried them. I've tried doing digital stuff. I've tried doing windows, and windows are a good one, but working up to get the murals and I mean, prints are good too, and selling canvases are good, but murals are really where it's at. There's a big fad going around right now during this time, and I don't think it's ending anytime soon, but everybody wants a mural. Everybody wants hand-painted things. Like we went through a vinyl phase, and people see now that vinyl doesn't really last that long. And so the reputable companies, they want something big and hand-painted, and you can charge a lot for it. I just did a mural for $5,000 in 2 days, and I'll do like 2 of those a month, and that's all I need. That's it. So I work 4 days a month to make 10 grand. And I want to teach you how to do that too. And that's the part of doing this mural meetup is really, I would like people who have never painted large scale before ever to come. That is my ideal person who shows up. For someone who says, I've only used a 1-inch brush and nothing bigger. I'm like, great, let me put a 4-inch brush in your hand and let's go. And let me show you from the ground up. That's who I want. And then we have people of all skill levels that come too, and you can learn from them and bounce ideas off of each other. I mean, we have people that have made 6 figures in their business and are full-time. They come to it too because they've been with me since the beginning. And I appreciate that they come because they help. So artistacademy.co, you can apply, 5-day free trial. And I think as of right now, it's $32 a month, but as of May 1st, it's going to go up to $37 a month, I think, or $47. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but right now it's $32 a month. It's extremely affordable, but the price is going up. So get in before May 1st and I'll teach you how to paint a mural and I'll teach you how to market it and I'll give you all of my templates and literally everything. All you have to do is show up and paint. Okay. All right. That's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great week. And if you could share this on your Instagram or wherever and tag me, I would be so appreciative. If this has talked you into doing some kind of live event in person and you're like, okay, this is going to be the year that I go out of my comfort zone. And if it's helped you, hopefully it can help other people. So please share this and I will see you next week. Thanks again.